Hi, it's Sonia, welcome back. This is going to be a sketchbook tour of this Moleskine squared paper notebook, which I have ended up, to be fair, when I first started using it, I wasn't sure if it was going to be kind of an anything goes journal, a sketchbook for anything, but it started to prove to myself that I think I started wanting the paper for drawing was quite thin, and I just ended up using it for... It just felt like, let's have a go at an abstract sketchbook journal, because I kind of liked also this squared paper for sort of doodles and the sort of more doodly abstract drawings when you just want to chill, I guess, and get into mark making. And I didn't feel precious about it because there's lots of pages, it's thin paper, but I don't mind that. Because I have used collage in this sketchbook, it has become a little bit quite thick, but I was careful not to go overboard. But yeah, this, like, for example, this page I really like. I really like this sort of squared paper, and then sometimes just doing a minimalistic, a minimalistic abstract collage. I think it allowed me, I know I've done quite a lot of these before, but this one, as with my other sort of non-sketchbook, sort of altered book projects, notebooks, they seem to allow me to really get very minimalistic. Like this was just experimenting with a highlighter pen in a way that I don't think I would do in one of my nicer sketchbooks. It was kind of just... And these are just ways of experimenting as well with odds and ends that I build up in my like little collage paper tray, and pens that I've got on my desk, cheap art materials, a lot of... I think this one actually ended up being later on because I was testing out acrylic markers. Here I tested out actually oil pastel mono printing. Yeah, you can see some of the pages I really just got into the whole playing around with the having the guidance of the square, of the line of the squares. Oh, acrylic. This was Sharpie acrylic markers. Yeah, I didn't feel any pressure to finish off pages. It was experimenting. It was just nice and relaxing. Like, I kind of like this one. Has a certain vibe to it that I actually kind of like. I think the colours, the orange with this sort of collaged bit here. I don't know why. Some pages just worked out a lot better than others. There's lots of pages I don't like. This page I kind of like as well. I would never have got so minimalistic in my Artesian mixed media sketchbook, for example. Well, I know I did a bit, but nothing. I mean, this is just 4 blobs of paint, but I kind of, the colours, visually, I kind of like that on certain days. Other days you can see I've wanted bright colours and slight craziness. I use this one a lot, and I used it sometimes in the morning just to get going. You know how when maybe you've come from doing sort of more practical tasks, I don't know, booking car services or just doctor's appointments or other jobs, and then you want to do some art, but it's weird, it's sometimes a little tricky to switch into that creative mindset where you're not judgmental, or you're not thinking about other people and what other people might think of what you're doing with your time, or just to switch off and get into sort of more of a meditative flow place. This sort of a sketchbook, journal, notebook, whatever you want to call it, really helps me just switch mindsets. Like, I really like this page. It's also fun to experiment with, this is Inktense, and I wasn't sure how Inktense would work on this paper, and yes, it gets really buckly. Like, it's not great obviously for watercolour. No one's ever probably, I'm sure people can, but going to be doing detailed watercolour studies in here probably, but it's fine for a little bit of watercolour, quite frankly. I don't mind, as I've spoken about many a time. I actually kind of liked warped, buckled pages. I like seeing that a sketchbook has been used and loved, and it's not treated as some sort of precious thing. Yeah, I wasn't even sure, to be honest with you, if I would end up just sort of stopping this as an abstract notebook and then just write notes and recycle it. And I don't know, sometimes I've got, because I do make, these sort of books allow me to make work. I don't feel, it's weird I'm sharing it, because I'm not saying this is, but I do like that thread. I'm not saying, yeah, this is anything that I'm trying to, it's obviously, it's my art. I see it as art. I don't expect anybody else to, but it's just a place for me to play around, and it's given me ideas. I like experimenting, especially with the acrylic markers, like layering, space, and it's just, yeah, in terms of sort of like art being a little space to be sort of good and gentle. It's anything to, oh, here I've got some old photos. Oh my gosh, back in the day, I was looking at old photos to draw from. And when I had those disposable cameras, I don't know how I've managed it. I managed to take photos of the ceiling, and I've got all these like laminated photos. I can cut them up, use them as spreaders, but I could also use them as collage. This was actually when I tried to do a loose drawing of eyes, and it didn't, on a Greek statue or something, it didn't work out. So I've just recycled the image here. Yeah, I really got into, you can sort of see your little sort of obsessions with shapes, and when you get into a bit of sort of a series of, weirdly, I always think I'm not one for series. That's too structured for me and it would bore me and I'd want to rebel. But I think in hindsight, when you flick through these sort of books, you can see that you did sort of in certain ways follow your interests, or you had a colour palette, or this sort of shape, obviously. The markers, I feel like some markers don't work terribly well, and then they make me use them in a certain way, like those sort of scratchy geometric shapes. This is quite a fun page. Yeah, super thin, this paper, but I kind of liked it. I also came to it a lot of weekends, or when it was really nice for those days when I really hadn't wanted to, I like to try and aim, and I mostly do art every day. And part of the reason I'm able to do that is because I count a spread here. If I only get to a spread here, I count that as a bit of art in my day, and I'm happy with that. And it's just something, people write diary entries, people do yoga, I don't know, we all try to do our own little thing, and it's just fun to see it build up. And it does give me ideas. I do get ideas from these pages for using in other works, be it abstract, be it backgrounds, patterns I'm very much into, a lot of these sort of repetitive patterns sometimes comes into my made up still lifes, or my very, what's the word, not kitsch, I don't know what to say, naive still lifes. I like to use, for example, I don't know, I'm trying to see. Oh, this was fun, blotting. Like the dots, but then I'd end up doing like a dotty pattern or a stripy pattern, or sort of semicircles. Those sort of, I haven't really, like here, these came into a lot of art vases because I was repeating them a lot in these little tiny sort of warm-up. It's kind of like warm-up exercises. This is going to be a quick one because I haven't got too much to say about this one, really. It's a fun, I wanted to share it because I think, especially with the summer break, or holidays where I know a lot of people do they may have holidays where they're doing a lot of urban sketching or painting outside, but sometimes people might be in the summer busy with sort of breaks, or still working, or I don't know, may not actually want to do urban sketching. I love urban sketching, but not everyone does. But you might still want to have something to take with you when you're away, seeing family or whatever you're up to, and you can just doodle. So this is also quite a fun little project to take away. Yeah, if you still want to keep up your abstract mark making over periods where you're not in your own place. Okay, and that's it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.